So when you look at this car from the outside, it's very handsome. Its lines flow very nicely. In fact, it feels like the flowing comes from the form that's underneath, the functionality. So it is very pretty. Well, everything except that grille. And while the outside is, dare I say, gorgeous, the inside I don't think they were as successful. For instance, the buttons seem haphazardly placed, even though they're of good quality. They're sort of strewn around the dash, which makes it difficult to sort of figure things out while you're driving. The other issue is the release for the front bonnet is on the passenger side. I mean, we're in North America too, not just Europe. There is no glove compartment, but these are sort of small, niggly things. The seats are really comfortable, and you know, the buttons for changing gears are really, really well appointed. Now, with all that beauty on the outside, it makes for somewhat limited visibility because of the high waistline of this car. The only issue I think that I really have is the A-pillar is a little bit thick, but it doesn't obstruct visibility in any way, though you have to be careful when you're making a left-hand turn. Well, there are two exhausts that you can get with this. The regular exhaust and the sports exhaust. There should really be only one option, the sports exhaust, because the sound is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What you hear is a lot of noise, a lot of burbles, a lot of crackles, befitting, I think, this car. The steering is very communicative. For a car like this, the level of connectedness with the driver and the road is phenomenal. It's a little bit heavy, but that's sort of expected in a car that you want to take on a spirited drive, that it isn't all loosey-goosey. And this is, if I were to compare it to my GT3 RS, a pretty good steering. And then you have the gearbox. Now, when I spoke with the Aston Martin rep and the ambassador for this car, the number one question that I had is, why put a single clutch gearbox in a car like this? For me, if you look at what the competitors for this car is, and that would be something along the lines of a Porsche GTS or an Audi R8, or even, I would say, a cousin, which is the Mercedes AMG GT. They all have twin clutch gearboxes, which make the shifts lightning fast. Now, these shifts, they're fast. I mean, for a single clutch gearbox. But if you're going to market this car as a competitor for those others, you would figure you'd need a twin clutch. However, Aston Martin feels that the extra weight and the advantage that a twin clutch would give you, let's say for a more track-focused car, is not applicable here. And you know, I'm somewhat seeing that point, in that I don't feel that I'm lacking in terms of my shifts, either up or down. Down is a little bit slower, but I think it's perfectly weighted for the car, how this car is driving, and the engine. And the engine on this car is glorious. It is quite the star. It still is a turbo, but it doesn't quite have as much turbo lag as the McLaren 720S, but it does bring with it such tumult and noise that one would think Cerberus, the Hound of Hades himself, is after you. Less bite and less chance you're going to go into the underworld if you really expand on that accelerator with this car. However, it is a fantastic engine. Now, well, that's why Aston Martin has hired lawyers so that they can imbue this car with all manners of ESP and traction control and large Brembo brakes and, well, massive tires so that they keep you on the road. This way, Cerberus or any government official for that matter won't be throwing you in the slammer for any sort of exuberant acceleration that may take you off-road, period. That doesn't mean that that takes away from any of the wonderful fun that's in this car, because it is a lot of fun. The speed is amazing. The brakes are fantastic. The cornering ability of the suspension is amazing. The absolute thrill that you get driving this car, it's so hard to surmise, but it goes. It takes you along for this wonderful ride. It's an amazing oral experience, a visual experience, an amazing tactile experience that I think Aston has somehow put the bits and pieces together to make this a wonderful, glorious machine. Now, is this a supercar? Well, the price isn't quite supercar territory, but it does have many attributes of a great supercar. In my opinion, falls in the category of a sport or super sport GT car, because it is a sublime drive, a fantastic suspension, but a lot of drama, a lot of noise if you want it. You put your foot down, this thing will go. It has amazing brakes, a wonderful ride quality, and a great oral experience on top of it being extremely tactile. It really does excite the senses. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. And this reviewer came into this thinking this was going to be a good car. But I've left knowing that this is in fact a great car. Aston Martin got this right. After 13 years, I think they've hit a really home run with this Aston. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy this for as long as they let me.